All right, so let's be real for a second.
Okay.
Who doesn't want career growth? Like,
Yeah.
we're all chasing that feeling of moving up,
Right.
making a bigger impact.
Of course.
And yeah, maybe wouldn't mind a fatter paycheck either, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But the thing is, with most career advice out there,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like a job in itself.
Yeah.
Network 24/7,
Right.
learn every new skill, chase every opportunity.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's enough to make anyone want to stay put, right?
Totally.
What if I told you there's a smarter, less overwhelming way to approach career growth?
I'd be all ears.
That's what we're diving into today with this book you share.
Okay.
Career Growth Made Easy by Zenson Tran.
Oh, I love this book.
Yeah?
It's so good.
What's really striking about it is how simple it is. It just cuts through all the clutter of typical career advice and says, look.
It's not about doing more.
Right.
It's about doing the right things.
Okay.
Those high-impact actions that truly move you forward.
So less hustle, more strategy.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
One of the things that stood out to me was it claims that this approach can actually save you
I know, right?
an average of 1.7 years of work
What?
over your entire career.
Get out.
1.7 years? That's like practically a free year and a half to do.
I know. You could do anything.
Anything.
Anything. Travel the world.
Yeah.
Learn a new language. Start a business.
Write a book.
There you go.
All that time back.
And potentially earn an additional $1 million in the process.
Oh, okay. So more money and more time.
That's what the book argues.
All right. I'm sold. How do we start?
Well, it starts with a really powerful exercise.
Okay.
A career audit.
A career audit.
Yeah, think of it like a GPS for your professional journey.
So before we can figure out where we're going, we need to figure out where we are right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this isn't just some vague, what are your dreams kind of exercise.
Okay.
Tran gives you concrete questions
Okay.
to really dissect your current job.
So really looking at it with a critical eye.
Exactly.
Okay.
He challenges you to ask yourself,
Okay.
is this role truly aligned with my long-term aspirations, or am I just going through the motions for a paycheck?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
It is.
I feel like a lot of us avoid asking ourselves that.
Oh, absolutely. It can be really uncomfortable to admit that maybe our current job isn't fulfilling our true potential.
Yeah, you feel kind of stuck, don't you?
You do.
But the book says that that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
It's acknowledging those misalignments
Yeah.
that allows you to make more intentional choices about your career path.
That's right.
So it's identifying that gap between where you are and where you want to be.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say you've done this audit.
Okay.
You face the hard questions.
Yeah.
You have a clearer picture of your starting point.
Right.
What's the next step in the strategic approach?
So step 2 focuses on bridging the skills gap,
Okay.
but with a really important caveat.
What's that?
It's not about becoming a jack of all trades.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right.
I was getting a little overwhelmed thinking about having to learn every single skill under the sun.
Yeah. Nobody has time for that.
Exactly.
So instead,
Okay.
Tran encourages you to pinpoint those high-impact skills
Okay.
that are most sought after in your desired career path.
So it's about really developing like a focused skill set
Yeah.
that gives you that competitive advantage.
Deca.
So how do we figure out what those golden skills are?
Yeah.
Because they're not always obvious, are they?
No, they're not. And, job postings can be kind of vague sometimes.
Totally.
But he has this great suggestion in the book.
Okay.
Dive into those job descriptions for your dream job,
Okay.
even if it feels like it's, light years away right now.
Yeah.
What skills keep popping up?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Those are your targets.
I love that because it shifts the focus away from like chasing every trendy skill
Right.
to really strategically honing in on the ones that will actually get you closer to your ultimate goal.
Exactly. And speaking of working smarter,
Okay.
let's talk about everyone's favorite topic. Networking.
The dreaded N word.
I know, right?
I have to confess,
Yeah.
networking events often feel so forced
Mm-hmm.
and transactional.
Yes.
It's like everyone's just walking around trying to collect business cards
Totally.
instead of making any sort of genuine connection.
Yeah, it's like a weird game of who can collect the most cards.
Right, exactly.
Instead of actually
Right.
building a relationship.
Yeah.
And the book totally gets that.
Okay.
He emphasizes quality over quantity
Okay.
when it comes to building your network.
So it's about fostering those meaningful relationships,
Absolutely.
even if they start small.
Exactly.
Okay, so less about working a room
Yes.
and more about nurturing those genuine connections.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that phrasing.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So where do these connections even come from?
Well, they can come from the most unexpected places.
Okay.
It could be a former colleague you reach out to for advice.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like that.
Someone whose work you admire online.
Okay.
Or even someone you already know,
Okay.
but haven't really considered as the potential networking contact.
Yeah.
Trent actually recommends
Yeah.
tapping into your existing network first.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah,
We forget about the people we already know.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, why are we always looking for
I know.
new people to meet
Right.
when we probably have
When we have gold.
gold
Right.
right in our own
Backyards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So often we think networking has to be this big formal thing,
Right.
but it can be as simple as like grabbing a coffee or
Yeah.
having lunch
Exactly.
with somebody who you find interesting.
It's just about building those relationships organically.
Yeah.
Based on genuine interest
Yeah.
and mutual benefit.
And the more genuine they are,
Yeah.
the more likely they are to actually turn into something that's valuable for both of you.
Right. It's a two-way street.
Exactly.
It's not just about what they can do for you.
Right,
It's
right.
about how you can also add value to their lives
Exactly.
and their careers.
Okay, so we've honed our high-impact skills.
Yes.
We've nurtured these meaningful connections. Sounds like we're ready to seize some opportunities.
I think so too.
What's next?
You know, it's funny. We were just talking about opportunities
Yeah.
presenting themselves. Because step 4 in his approach
Okay.
tackles those head on.
Okay.
And here's the kicker.
Okay.
It's not about saying yes to everything.
Okay.
In fact, he argues that saying no is a superpower.
Whoa, hold on.
It is-
I hear that right. Saying no to opportunities.
Yeah.
That feels kind of counterintuitive, especially in such a competitive job market.
I know it seems really counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But he makes a really good case for being really selective
Okay.
about the opportunities that you pursue.
Okay.
He says that saying no to the wrong things
Okay.
actually creates space for the right things to come your way. So how do you figure out when to say yes and when to politely decline?
Right.
Because it feels like such a delicate balance.
It is a balance.
Especially when you're,
Yeah, you're eager.
eager to move up that ladder.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to that career audit
Okay.
we were talking about.
Okay.
When you have a clear understanding of your values,
Mm-hmm.
your goals, what truly excites you,
Right.
it's easier to look at those opportunities
Yeah.
and be like, does this really fit into
Right.
what I'm trying to build for myself?
So it's not about being closed-minded
Right.
or risk-averse.
Right.
It's about being strategic
Exactly.
and saying yes to the things that really, truly resonate with where you want to go.
Yeah, and he actually shares a story in the book
Oh, really?
about this woman
Okay.
who felt really stuck
Okay.
in a dead-end job.
Okay.
But she kept saying yes
Okay.
to every project that came her way
Um.
because she didn't want to seem ungrateful
Right.
or unambitious.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until she started saying no
Okay.
to those projects that weren't really lighting her on fire
Yeah.
that she actually had the time and the energy
Yeah.
to pursue her true passion.
See, that's such a good reminder that sometimes
Yeah.
saying no can actually be the thing
Yes.
that sparks that positive change.
It's about reclaiming your time
Yes.
and your energy
Yes.
for the things that really matter.
It's about boundaries.
It is.
Setting those boundaries.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And this actually ties into the
Yeah.
final step of his framework,
Okay.
which I think is the most important.
Okay. What's that?
He argues that sustainable career growth
Okay.
hinges on one crucial factor:
What's that?
balance.
Balance.
Yeah,
It's a word we hear all the time.
we do.
It can feel so elusive, though,
It can.
especially when you're, grinding away,
Yeah, you're in it,
trying to make it to that next level.
in the thick of it. Yeah.
What's his take on actually achieving that balance?
Well, he's pretty straightforward about it.
Okay.
He doesn't sugarcoat it.
Okay.
He's like, balance isn't optional.
Okay.
It's essential.
Okay.
Like, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
If you are constantly pushing yourself to the limit,
Yeah.
neglecting your well-being,
Mm-hmm.
your relationships, your passions,
Yeah.
you're going to burn out.
You're setting yourself up for disaster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to crash and burn.
I've been there
Yeah.
where I thought I could just power through,
Yeah.
work around the clock,
Yeah.
worry about balance later.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Right.
Right.
I learned the hard way
Yeah.
that burnout is not a badge of honor.
It's no.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It's the opposite of what you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's so common, though,
It is.
to think that you have to be.
Hustling all the time.
Yes.
and grinding.
And then if you're not,
Yeah.
you're failing.
Yeah, like you're not doing enough.
But he's saying
He's like, no,
that's not it.
no.
True success is
Yeah.
holistic.
It is.
It's all of it.
It's about taking care of your whole self.
Exactly.
Not
It's
just,
how do we
yeah.
practically
Right, because that's the question.
integrate this into our already busy lives?
Right. Because we're all busy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't have time for balance.
Right. There's just not enough hours in the day.
Yeah. He gives some really practical strategies, though.
Okay, good.
He talks about setting boundaries,
Okay.
prioritizing self-care,
Love that.
and then learning to delegate
Yes.
when you can.
Yeah. Delegate.
Yes.
Okay.
He's like, kept taking breaks,
Yeah.
disconnecting from work,
Yeah.
engaging in activities that we actually enjoy.
Right.
These aren't indulgences.
Right.
These are investments
Yes.
in our well-being
Yes.
and our long-term productivity.
It's so true. And I found that for myself, too.
Yeah.
Like, I used to think that,
Yeah.
taking a break was like slacking off. But now when I actually make time for those things,
Yeah.
for exercise, for my hobbies, for spending time with people I care about,
Mm-hmm.
I come back
Yeah.
more energized,
Yes.
more focused.
You're a better worker.
I'm more creative.
Yeah.
I'm like a better version of myself.
It's like you said.
Yeah,
You can't pour from an empty cup.
exactly.
You got to fill yourself up first,
Okay, yes.
and then you can give to others.
And to your work.
Exactly.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Have you found this to be true for yourself? It really is.
Yeah.
You know? For so long, I thought that being busy
Totally.
equaled being productive.
Like the more you did,
Yes.
the better you were.
Exactly. And it was all about how many things could I check off
Yeah.
my to-do list today?
Right. Was it a badge of honor?
Yeah.
How long was your list?
Right. But it wasn't until I actually started prioritizing balance
Yeah.
and setting those boundaries that I realized
Yeah.
that I was bringing so much more energy and
Yeah.
focus to everything
Not.
when I actually had time to recharge.
Yes.
Yes, and I think that that's something that he talks about in the book.
He does. And you know what else I love that he talks about?
What's that?
Celebrating those small wins
Oh, yes.
along the way.
It's so easy to get caught up in like,
It is.
okay, what's the next goal?
What's the big thing?
The next promotion?
Yeah, are you going to be VP?
That we forget to acknowledge,
Yeah.
like the little victories that happen along the way.
All those little wins
Yeah.
that add up.
Because they really do.
They do.
It's like you're giving yourself permission
Yeah.
to be proud of those little things.
To celebrate yourself,
Yes.
which we don't do enough.
No, we don't.
Right.
And I think that is such a good point
Yeah,
that he makes because it changes your perspective.
it does.
It really
It
does.
gives you that little boost to keep going.
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I can celebrate this.
Yes.
I'm going to keep going.
And you know what else?
What's that?
Sometimes the biggest win
Yeah.
is knowing when to take a step back.
That can be so hard,
It could be really hard,
especially when you're
especially driven.
in our society.
Yes. You're supposed to
Yeah.
hustle and grind all the time.
Grind, grind, grind.
When is it okay to slow down?
And he actually says that.
Okay.
Sometimes you need to slow down
Yeah.
in order to speed up. That's a good way to put it.
Right.
Because if you're just constantly going,
You're going to run out of steam.
you're going to burn out.
Exactly.
You're not going to be able to be your best self.
And that's not good for anybody.
No, it's not good for you.
Right.
It's not good for your work.
It's not good for the people around you.
Exactly.
Like nobody wins in that situation.
This book, Career Growth Made Easy,
It really does what it says on the tin.
it does. It's really practical.
It's not theoretical.
No,
It's like, here are the steps.
Yes.
Go do them.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
It's really insightful. And I love how it's broken down
Me too.
into these really actionable steps.
Actionable is my favorite word when it comes to
Yeah.
self-help books.
Yes, agreed.
Because what's the point?
Right.
If you're not going to do anything with it,
Exactly.
right,
Yeah.
you're just going to have a lot of knowledge.
You're just going to sit on a shelf,
Yeah,
collect dust.
exactly.
This was great. This was a really good deep dive.
It was a good one.
For our listeners out there,
Yes.
if you are feeling,
If you're feeling stuck,
yes,
if you're feeling burnt out,
if you're just
if you're just looking for some
inspiration,
inspiration,
yeah,
a little push
a little push,
in the right direction,
I highly recommend
check out this book.
checking out Career Growth Made Easy by Zenson Tran.
It's so good.
You won't regret it.
And you know what? As you're reading it,
Yeah.
I want you to keep in mind
Okay.
that potential
Oak
of saving years of your life,
of your life.
of not feeling stuck,
Yes.
not hitting your head against a wall.
And having more money.
And having more money.
And in your pocket.
Right. Like, what could you do
Seriously.
if you had an extra $1 million
I know.
and an extra year and a half
I like the way you think.
to do whatever you wanted?
All right, so it's not just about climbing the ladder faster.
No.
It's about designing a career path
Yes.
that's both fulfilling.
And sustainable.
Yes.
Which is so
That's
important.
the key.
Because otherwise you're just going to end up back where you started.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, that is all the time we have for today's deep dive.
I had a blast.
Until next time,
Keep on climbing.
keep learning, keep growing,
To the top. But like,
but sustainably.
sustainably.
Yes. And remember, your career should fuel your life,
Yes.
not consume it. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.